Okay, good day once again. So our topic for today is all about the leading as a part of management function under the chapter 6. Okay, so directing and leading is another management function we are going to consider in this chapter. Directing and leading is the interpersonal relations of the managers and their subordinates. It concerns whether on those interactions that managers need to have with their subordinates. Subordinate must be given guidance through good communication and further their ability to lead the organization. Okay, so under this directing and leading, this function of management boils down into the managers or the leaders of an organization who occupies higher position. Okay, so what are the qualities of being a good leader? Number one, must possess an energy. You must possess an energy in the sense that and every time and every day that he or she goes into the work, he must possess an energy in a way that he influences the employees to work harder in an organization. Next would be emotional stability. The good leader must be able to consider the different emotions of the employee in giving an advice, especially in dealing with the different situations. Okay, especially with the diverse behaviors of the employees coming from the different places with distinctive culture. Next would be the good knowledge in human relation. Okay, that is also related to emotional stability, wherein as the leader you must have a good interpersonal relationship or interpersonal relationship or good relationship with your employees or co-employees. Next would be the empathy. Number 5 would be the personal motivation. You must serve as a role model in an organization. Number 6 would be ability to write and talk. Okay, that's the basic requirement for or as an employee nowadays. Next would be teaching direct to the point. Okay, as a leader you must go directly to the point. You must not go besides the point or the center line. Okay, next would be the social skill, meaning ability to interact with other people. Next would be the technical skill. Okay, so what is motivation? Motivation is a psychological process of directing behavior. Psychologists consider human behavior as primarily goal-oriented, and that there are forces that induce the individual to act or behave in a certain manner. So in short, motivation is all about encouraging people to work, especially in dealing with an organization and working in an organization. Okay, so there are a lot of motivation theories that are presented by the different forerunners or different proponents. So number 1 would be the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs is proposed by Abraham Harold Maslow, which composed of the 5 levels, which is the physiological needs, which talks about the food, shelter, and clothes. Okay, food, shelter, and clothing, which is what we so-called our basic needs. Okay, number 2 would be the safety needs. When we speak of safety needs, we are talking about the individual psychological needs are satisfied. That needs to be have a security or safety in working in an organization. Okay, the third one would be the love and belongingness. Okay, so in an organization you must treat everyone or every member of the organization as a family in which you are sharing love and attention. Okay, next one would be the STEM needs. Okay, STEM needs are the 4th level in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, in which Maslow's classified into 2 categories. Number 1 would be the esteem for oneself, and the number 2 is the desire for the reputation or the respect for the other people, in which this part of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs deals with yourself and the others. Okay, the number 5 would be the self-actualization. This is the highest level in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it refers to the realization of the personal potential, self-fulfillment, or seeking personal growth and peak experiences. Okay, so under this self-actualization, this is more on the self-satisfaction. For example, you want to run for a higher position, knowing the fact that you're already financially and almost all the aspects of your life are all settled. Okay, Next one would be the erg theory, or the existence, relatedness, and growth. Okay, so under this one, under the existence, this includes the material, all the material and physical or psychological desires such as the food, water, air, clothing, safetyness, physical love, and affection. So as what you observe, some of the elements under the the first one, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, are being mixed out to form a what we call this three erg model. Okay, so under the number one, which is the existence, the food, water, air, clothing, safety, physical, and affection. Okay, physical love and affection. Number two would be the relatedness. This encompasses the social and external esteem, relationship with the significant others like the family, friends, co-workers, and employers. Okay, so this also means to be recognized and feel secure as a part of your group or your family. Okay, next one would be the growth. This talks about the internal esteem and a self-actualization. This impel the person to make creative or productive effects on himself and the environment. Okay, so the next theory would be the McClelland's theory. Okay, so the number one would be the need for the achievement. The need for achievement, as the name itself suggests, that it urges to achieve something in what you do. Okay, so from the word itself, need to achieve, you are putting some actions in order for you to have or to achieve something. Okay, next would be the need for power. The need for power is the desire within a person to hold the control and authority over the other person. Okay, so this usually is a motivation theory wherein the higher position motivates the lower position because he has the ability to influence or motivate the employee. Okay, the next one under still the McClelland's theory would be the need for affiliation. It urges the person to have a interpersonal and social relationship with others, or particular with a set of people. So from the word itself, affiliate, you are trying to motivate people by merely having a good relationship with them, because we believe that if we have a good relationship with other people, then definitely we can motivate and inspire them to work harder in an organization. Okay, the next one would be the Herbert's two-factor theory. Okay, so under the number one would be the motivating factors. The motivating factors, the presence of motivators causes the employee to work harder. So motivating factors, these are the factors that motivates the employee, such as the number one would be the achievement, recognition. The number three would be the work itself. Next would be the responsibility, the advancement, and the growth. Okay, the next one would be the hygiene factors. The absence of hygiene factors will cause the employee to work less harder. So these are the factors that causes it. Number one would be the company policies, the supervision or the less supervision, the toxic working condition, the low salary, the status, and the security. Probably the person is unsecured, therefore he will not work in an organization for a long time. Okay, so that's under the Herbert's theory. Under the equity theory, we are talking about the input and the output. We must make sure that there is enough inputs in order for us to gain a maximum output. In this sense, if the output or the input meets the output, then definitely we will be having a profit, and that motivates an employee because he thinks that working in an organization or in this organization which is profitable is a good idea. Okay, the last one would be the expectancy theory, which talks about the effort, performance, and the reward. Okay, this explains that when a people work, he exerts effort, and when he exerts effort, he performs in an organization, and when he performs in an organization, he will be rewarded with a salary or probably an additional pay in an organization. Okay, so that's all for our different motivations theory. Let's now go for our communication. So first and foremost, what is a communication? Communication is all about the sending a message from the sender up to the receiver. Okay, so these are the reasons why we do communication. Number one, it reduces uncertainty. Number two, it solves problem. Okay, so through the use of communication, we could be able to share ideas or to tell our insights towards something, and in return, we also react, or we also make a move or an action. Okay, next would be the control situation. Through the use of communication, we could be able to control the situation in a manner that the effect, or the situation must go along with our way. Since we have communication, then definitely it's very easy for us to control the situation. Next would be reasons for communication. There must be always a feedback, because when a sender sends a message without the receiver having a response into it, it seems like it is a one-way communication wherein there is no response, or there is no reply, or there is no feedback at all. Okay, so the different communication flow. Number one would be the downward. Okay, so this is a flow of communication from the people at the higher level to the lower level, meaning from the boss until the lower position. From the upward naman, this is usually happened when the lower position suggests to the higher position, meaning the position, the information comes from the lower position up to the higher position. Okay, next would be the crosswise communication. This is a communication from the different departments wherein, for example, there is a meeting, then definitely every department heads or staffs must have to voice out their sides to have a communication, or what we call the interaction. Next would be the different elements of communication process. Number one would be the input, or which is so called as the content of the message, or the idea or the information. Next would be the sender. The sender is the one who sends the message. The code. A code is a symbol which is known to both sender and receiver to construct a meaning. Next would be the channel, or a medium, wherein what medium we are going to use to transform or to reach the receiver in terms of the message or the idea. Next would be the receiver. Receiver is the one who decodes or receive a message. He is the one also who is intended to send a reply for the message. Okay, the next one would be the output. The output is the content of the message being interpreted by the receiver. The response is the reaction of the receiver to the message, or which is what we so call the reply. The feedback, it is a part of the receiver response that is transmitted to the sender. Okay, next would be the different types of communication. Number one would be the written communication. From the word itself, written, it must be in a printed form or in a written form, wherein, for example, the journals, the letters, so on and so forth. Okay, and the next would be the oral communication. From the word itself, oral, talks about the for example, the day-to-day activities in which one employee is talking to another employee. Okay, the non-verbal communication is also as a part of the types of communication. It deals with the communication wherein it does not involve the written, or it does not involve a speaking, but involves a gestures or the actions from the sender to the receiver. Okay, so that's all for our discussion for this chapter. Thank you so much for listening.